worthy. Jason Myers, my teacher, who now preaches for John Piper, writes in his commentary, the word worthy is axios, and it means something that fits with the weight and worth of its standard of reference. Put all that into a picture for you. He said it's equivalent to, the meaning is, like in the early days of the U.S. government, before the Federal Reserve, when the paper bills were backed up by bars of gold. That bar of gold is the standard of reference. It's the weight and the worth and the value of that gold that causes this paper money to be handled as such. And that worth was called, quote, the gold standard. And what Paul is saying is, so you got two things. He's saying over here is the gospel of Christ. And he says that is the bar of gold. That is the gold standard. Over here is your life, your paper life. And Paul is saying, handle your life in accordance to the great worth and value of the gospel. Why? Why is it so important? Because when you handled the dollar bill that way, when it had that kind of value, you directed people's minds to the gold that was behind it. Please don't check out here. Listen to this. You directed people's minds to the gold that's behind it. In the same way, what Paul is saying to the Philippians is the gospel of Christ is the gold standard, and you're to treat your life with equal seriousness and weight comparable to the very person of Christ himself. And when you do so, everyone who watches, everyone in your family, everyone at work, everyone that ever comes into breathing distance of you is going to be reminded of the gold behind your life. Their minds are constantly reminded of the heavy, weighty, glorious, majestic, magnanimous person in the universe. When you treat your whole life according to that one bar of gospel. Or do you treat the gospel basically like Neptune? It has no weight, no significance, no importance, and it pretty much swirls everything else. 8 or 9 other things. No wonder your children end up ungodly. That's what Leonard Ravenhill said. Why should the world take us seriously when we don't take God seriously? You think you're going to impact them by being frivolous about it? You know when truth is on trial? You know when your children are evangelized? You know when your people in your life are evangelized? When Uncle Joe dies, who did not know Jesus, and you actually are clear about the fact that he did not go to heaven. Are you a faithful witness? Or are you a coward? Again, this is biblical terminology. Revelation chapter 21, the cowards are thrown into the lake of fire. Cowards. Let me ask you, according to these verses, this is a demand on the lives of every person who believes on Christ. Are you living worthy of the gospel of Christ or not? And do you realize if not, you're living an unworthy life? It is an unworthy life. And more importantly, hear my heart, it is a hurtful life. You're hurting people, hurting their chances of heaven, hurting their opportunity to be confronted by acting like it's not as weighty as it is. Did you know that? Do you bend everything to come to the prayer meeting the way you do to go to the deer stand? Look, it's not worthy of the gospel. It's hurtful. If you have people in your family that are lost and you wonder why, you're why. It's because of you. You live like it doesn't matter. No wonder they hadn't believed. You act like it doesn't matter. We could go on down the line. Do you bend everything in your life because of the great weight of the Sunday morning meeting? Do you bend everything in your life because of the great weight of the Wednesday night meeting? Do you bend everything in your life because of the great weight, which we heard last week, of the Lord's Supper? Do you bend everything in your life for the great weight of baptism when Jesus says, if you've really been converted, then obey me in being baptized? And you've not been baptized. And you wonder why other people aren't following the words of Christ. You're not. If you're a father, do you ever have home Bible studies? Do you ever get your family together? Ever? Is there any regular time? Tell them. Talk to them. Let them see you come into the meeting. Let them see. Be like the bath water that goes down the drain and pulls everybody with you that way. What kind of pull do you have by your life? I know what you say, but what kind of pull does your life have? This is an absolute necessity that we handle our lives in such a way that people are driven to consider the gold.